we're very pleased to have you all here to help us honor a local friend who's getting growing national reputation. We're really delighted to host this Information Technology Industry Council event to honor Congressman McCaul. And I think it's really cool that we got to be here in IBM's second largest site in the United States to do this. IBM's #1 site in terms of patent generation. You know, IBM is really a leader in the industry in patents, and this is the #1 site for the past 7 years, and right here in your district, Congressman. So, really great. You know, that level of invention and innovation to do things like that Power 7 server that's sitting behind you really requires a dedicated team of diverse, talented, brilliant individuals. And so we're really proud of that accomplishment and proud to be here today. And we're very thankful for all the support that you've been providing to our industry at large. Whether it's been a support of R&D tax credit, patent reform legislation, or of course all you do in the cybersecurity, we're very, very appreciative of it. And we're hoping in the next few days that you'll help the House reauthorize the America Competes Act so we can continue to work and do this great innovation over time. So we have a friend of the IT industry from Washington here to recognize the Congressman's accomplishments. So I'd like to introduce Dean Garfield. He's the President and CEO of the IT Industry Council. He's a true thought leader for the entire industry. He came to ITI actually from the Motion Picture Association of America, and before that the Recording Industry Association of America. So sounds like a lot of fun. You have a great job, music, video, and now the Congressman. We're really glad and proud to be a member of ITI. I guess Ashley Simmons is here with you today from your team, and dedicated to really help us sustain job growth and innovation. So it's my pleasure to welcome and introduce Dean.
Thanks, Tony. I was actually a big fan of the Congressman before even coming here, but he just asked me if I used to be an actor, so I'm even bigger fan. So, it's quite a pleasure to be here today. It's quite an honor to be the President and CEO of an organization that represents the global leaders, the 45 global leaders in information and communications technology, including many companies that are born and bred, or at least adopted by the state of Texas, some of whom are represented in the audience today, including AMD and Dell and Symantec, who I think some of their folks are also here as well. Do you want to just raise your hand so we can acknowledge some members that are here? As well as, of course, IBM, and this is quite a facility, so we thank IBM for their graciousness in allowing us to host this event here today. I have to confess that the reason we're here had very little to do with my persuasive powers and more to do with Congressman McCaul and his leadership and reputation. All of our companies know that the Congressman is someone who recognizes the importance of investing in innovation and ICT in driving continued growth of our country and certainly of this sector and his constituents. Whether the issue of emphasis is on creating jobs, as our sector has done over the last 10 years, we've created over 500,000 jobs. Whether the issue is R&D investment, which as Tony pointed out, all of our companies are investing heavily in that sector, or cybersecurity. Congressman McCaul has been a leader in all of those areas in making sure that the United States retains its place of global leadership around innovation. As Tony mentioned, I've only been in Washington for about a year, and Congressman, you don't have to worry, I'm not going to keep you standing up here to give a lengthy speech. But one of the things that I've noticed in being in Washington is when we talk about the essential elements for maintaining continued growth in the ICT sector and growth, driving economic growth and improving people's lives generally, that we get a lot of head nodding, whether on the Hill or off, talking to members of Congress. So when we talk about the importance of renewing the R&D credit, we get a lot of amen from the choir and a lot of head nodding. When we talk about the need to invest in science, technology, engineering, and math, to make sure that we maintain our leadership position in research and development and creating jobs, we get a lot of head nodding. When we talk about the need for more robust investment in broadband and making sure that broadband is safe and secure through cybersecurity principles, we get a lot of people saying yes and nodding their head. But we don't have people who are following the courage of their conviction and voting on these issues repeatedly. We don't have people who are introducing legislation, for example, to ensure that the R&D credit is renewed, not only renewed, but reinvigorated. The United States was the first country to develop an R&D credit. Right now, we're not even in the top 10 when we look at our global competitors in the state of play of our R&D credit. That has to change, and one of the people who will help us to change that, because of the leadership that he's exhibited over the years, is Congressman McCaul. And so with that, I would like to present the Congressman with our 2009, wow, this is pretty good.
That's so good. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Thank you. I was hoping that Dean would give me this award sitting down. This is really loud. Just want to thank everybody for being here, IBM for hosting this, Dean, ITIC for giving me this award, and all the Austin local high-tech companies. I think this award means more to me than any other I've received. Living in Austin, representing Austin with the tech community being so strong, for me to get a national award for technology just means more than anything else I could receive. And I want to thank you and the good work of ITIC as well. Thank you. You know, when you talk about technology in the Congress, a lot of members, they tend to start to glaze over a little bit and they don't quite understand. I'm a little bit younger than most, although I'm getting more white hair as the years go by. But technology is really about the future. It is the vision for the next generation to make this world a better place. And that's what technology means to me. And yet technology, you know, it's very refreshing for me in a world that's so politically charged and so partisan. Technology transcends the partisan politics. It provides the solution to so many of the policy problems that we have in this nation and in this world. When you look at health care, health IT, when you look at energy, you know, when you look at security issues. The one thing that is in common with all these policy challenges that we have in Washington, the one common denominator is technology. And that's why technology is so important. And that is why we need as a nation to continue to invest in technology and stay a world leader and stay competitive globally. And the issues that we talk about, I founded and co-chair the High Tech Caucus with Anna Eshoo from California, and she's a Democrat, I'm a Republican, but we have this issue in common. We want technology to advance in the United States. We want to create jobs right here in the United States. And the policies that come out of Washington will determine whether you create those jobs here or whether you send them overseas. That's why we've worked so hard to make the R&D tax credit permanent and stop playing partisan politics and turning it into a political football every Congress. That's why we've worked on issues like repatriation, so you could take profits achieved, you know, overseas and bring them back into the United States, which would bring enormous capital into the United States, creating more and more jobs. That's why I was a lead Republican on the solar technology roadmap bill. I have to tell you, I think I've gotten more legislation passed, I hate to admit this, I've probably gotten more legislation passed in the minority than in the majority. Because I've become a bit of a go-to guy for the majority. Whether it's a Solar Technology Roadmap Act, whether it was a cybersecurity bill that we got passed on the House floor, which is, you know, if you ever give up faith in Washington, I encourage you to look at that floor debate on the cybersecurity bill, because it brought Democrats and Republicans together on an issue that made a lot of sense. It involves technology and national security. That's where we need to be going with this. This shouldn't be a partisan issue. And when it comes to a high-skilled workforce, we need the H-1B visas. We need to increase that. We need a highly skilled workforce to be globally competitive. And what we're looking at now, and the next challenge in the few weeks ahead, is the American Competes Act, which will be an enormous federal investment into research and development, into our universities, into STEM education, science, technology, engineering, mathematics, and an enormous investment into research and development through the National Science Foundation and the Department of Energy. I can't think of anything more important up there in Washington than that bill, because if that passes, that signals that we are going to maintain our leadership status, that we will be globally competitive, and that in Washington we still believe that that's a worthwhile investment of federal dollars. And out of all the spending programs we have in Washington, again, I can't think of a better way to invest than through science and technology and research and development. That will keep us ahead of the curve and keep us a leader and globally competitive, so we don't fall behind countries like China and India. So with that, I think cybersecurity, again, one of the biggest challenges we're going to have in the national security realm. We formed a commission in a bipartisan way to study that, make recommendations to the President of the United States. He took on a lot of those, but we have a bill to fulfill the mission of that cybersecurity commission as well. But all the great advancements we see are really in your hands. And I think the federal government has a partnership, if you will, with the private sector on research and development and with the universities. I know we have many representatives from the University of Texas here. And it's a great laboratory for research and development in a lot of ways where the marketplace cannot provide that. So that partnership, that public-private partnership between the federal government, the universities, and the private sector, to me is the great laboratory and the great genius, the model that's going to advance us as a nation. And I'm just so passionate about it, and again, so pleased to have been given this award. I've tried to make technology one of my highest priorities in the Congress, and to receive this national award, I think, demonstrates that I've had some success, and it means so much to me. Thank you so much, Dean.